I have a question for the Minister of Home Affairs, Dr. Leon Schreiber. So, since the xenophobic attacks started in South Africa, can you please take South Africans into your confidence and let us know how many Nigerians that have traveled from Nigeria to South Africa to date? I want to see something. Now, it's quite funny when you are listening and you are watching people purporting to be leaders of countries losing their minds about South Africans wanting to clean their country. Oh no, they refuse for South Africans to clean their country. The question is why? What are you benefiting from South Africans being at pain? When a child in South Africa loses their lives because of drugs, that makes you sleep well at night, doesn't it? When a young girl in our community goes missing, that makes you sleep well at night, doesn't it? So what exactly this is all about? I have already established that you guys are jealous of South Africa because South Africa sits on tables you think you deserve to sit on. Secondly, you guys despise the fact that South Africa has very smart people. Smart people are developing their country despite all the challenges that we have, and we are addressing those challenges. You guys despise that. So much so that one of a Nigerian member of parliament wanted our president to use the army on its citizen. You guys, you can do that. I mean, you do that in your nation. Funny, Boko Haram is running rampage. Christians are being slaughtered. Just up the road in Morocco and Libya, Nigerians are being mistreated. Some are being unalived. A young lady from Ghana was unalived in Nigeria, and Ghana is mum. So what exactly this is all about? Let's talk brother to brother. I get to you guys you say we are brothers. African, black, whatever it is that you guys say. Why is Ghana quiet about I'm not going to mention the name, and the reason why I'm not mentioning the name because you know who she is. And you are quiet about her death. No minister in Ghana flew over to Nigeria for a fact-finding mission or even writing a letter to the African Union as if you give a shit about it. And you did not do that. Nigeria, yourselves. Let's talk about you sending a, I don't know what you want to call this, kindness of your heart, Nigerians that live in South Africa to register to go back home. But only 130 registered. How many Nigerians are in South Africa again? And they are targeted, remember. Nigerians are targeted in South Africa. You would think there would be no seats left in those flights. Not just a flight, flights. Because we don't only have tens of thousands of Nigerians here, or hundreds of thousands of Nigerians, but 130 registered to go back home. What does that tell you about the propaganda you're spreading about South Africa that is xenophobic? It is not true, because if it was true, I'm telling you right now, Nigerians will be tripping over each other, even scamming each other to get a seat on a plane back home to safety. And I'm very interested about the Nigerians that have traveled. You guys say traveling, right? Traveled to South Africa, at least in the past 2 months to date. And I would like to know, why did they come to a war zone that is specifically targeting them in South Africa? Same goes with you Ghanaians. Same goes with you, because y'all are still spreading propaganda. There was even a video, obviously, somebody took a video from another country and they wanted to liken it to what is going on in South Africa. The protests in South Africa can be proven that they've been peaceful. Let me tell you another thing that you guys do not understand about South Africans. We don't carry machetes. We don't have machetes. That's not our culture to carry machetes when we are protesting. Sticks, yes. Maybe you need to sit down and do your little research. Why do you see sticks? Not weapons, sticks. When South Africans are protesting, you should take your time. I'm talking to the uneducated members of parliament in Nigeria. Yeah, you guys are uneducated and I can prove it. Check this video out.
Botswana have closed their border with South Africa and have also cut electricity supply within the region where they connect to South Africa. Zimbabwe have closed their border with South Africa because of this embarrassing xenophobic attack that is targeted at blacks in South Africa. Mr. President, but if you look at this motion is not only about South Africa. This motion also included Ghana and other countries that have started treating Nigeria as if Nigeria is no longer the giant of Africa that we used to be. Mr. President, Nigeria, we have paid our dues in the African continent. There is hardly any country in Africa that will have problems that Nigeria will not go to assist them. I know how much money, energy and resources we spent to restore South Africa from the apartheid regime. I also recall the issue of ECOMOG just some few years ago in Liberia and even in Ghana here. So we must take decisive action on a matter of this nature. So it is not something that we are going to treat with levity. Nigerians must hear our voice. They must know that the People's Parliament is angry about what is happening to our nationals in South Africa and in other countries.
Breaking news. Botswana cuts electricity to South Africa and closes its borders. President Duma Boko has declared state of emergency and announced drastic measures against South Africa amid escalating tensions fueled by accusation of xenophobia against Botswana citizens. Among the most drastic decisions is cut off of electricity to several South African provinces, an unprecedented move that risks worsening the already severe energy crisis in the neighboring country. In addition, the Botswana government has ordered immediate closure of its borders and demanded the return of all its citizens currently in South Africa. In a firm speech, Duma Boko strongly criticized the treatment of Botswana nationals, recalling his country's historical support during the struggle against apartheid. We helped you fight oppression, and today our children are being humiliated.
It's that the government of Botswana has decided to cut electricity supply to South Africa and also to close its borders in response to the attacks on Botswana citizens perpetrated by black South Africans. I have always known that many African governments will react to what is going on in South Africa now. You see, the issue of xenophobia in South Africa did not start today. It has always been there, but like what most African governments did in the past is simply to ignore the whole thing and just to pretend that all is well, and they wouldn't want to escalate issues. They will look at it from a brotherly angle. But right now, the handshake has gone beyond the elbow and it's become a different thing entirely. So many African governments are reacting one way or the other. A couple of days ago, the Nigerian government decided it's time to begin to evacuate Nigerians from South Africa, and about 130 of them have now decided to voluntarily relocate to Nigeria.
I don't know if you see what I saw. You have a great-grandfather who is a parliamentarian. Then you have a young person in between. And then you have a grandfather. These three generations, you would have thought that, well, since they tell everybody we are educated, we are the smartest on the continent, you would do your research or at least fact check these propagandas that they are busy spreading. But it's the member of parliament for me. Don't you have a secretary? Don't you have researchers? Don't you have young people at home? Oh, don't you have a brain to take your phone and fact check that if Botswana provides or supplies South Africa with electricity? Secondly, you would have also checked the economy of Botswana, how heavily dependent it is on South Africa. Oh, that also includes food security, energy like petrol. Whom do they go to for all these things? For Botswana to shut its borders on South Africa. You would have done that. You would have ordered your secretary, hey, check, but you didn't. You come carrying your old head in parliament and you try to spread lies, and the world is laughing at you guys. The world is laughing at you guys. You know why the world is laughing at you? Because they're not like y'all. They do diligence. They fact check and they come back and be like, what are they talking about? South Africa provides electricity, or it supplies electricity to about 5 or 6 SADC countries. SADC, that's the Southern African Development Community. I think all in all, we are 14, if I'm not mistaken. We provide electricity for them. Not only electricity, they cannot afford to close their borders on South Africa. None of them. But because you're wishful thinking, because you got this hatred and resentment towards South Africa, it made you happy. So much so that you took to the floor of parliament and spewed nothing but misinformation. Once again, taking Nigerian reputation and throwing it in the mud. You guys are known as dishonest officially because your parliamentarians are liars. And then you have civilians, one old, one young. The young one just demonstrates clearly that education in Nigeria is almost non-existent. So she is an uneducated commentator on social media platforms. And now we know who she is. And I mean, first impressions. Dumb. And then you have a grandfather. And you have to wonder, what are you teaching your grandchildren? Particularly when it comes to information. You just take a camera and stick it on your face, and then you spew nothing but rubbish, old as you are. But the grand question here is, why 130 Nigerians have registered to be taken back home by their country? What about the rest? If South Africa is a war zone that is targeting Nigerians, Ghana, I also have the same question, because you keep throwing around that Ghanaians are in danger, Ghanaians are being unalived, Ghanaians are living in fear. They left Ghana. They left Ghana even though there is no war. They left Ghana because they did not see any prospects of success. Hence, they flew over to South Africa. And now South Africa is dangerous. Unlike Ghana when they left, South Africa is dangerous for Ghanaians, and not even one is twitching. Why? Is there really xenophobic attack in South Africa? You see, your lies, your own people are proving you guys, without saying too much, that our governments are liars. I saw another gentleman, I don't know if he thinks this is a defense. He says he's been in South Africa since 2006, and he now has 3 children and is married to a South African woman. Once again, sir, being married to a South African woman does not say that you are a citizen. Oh, by the way, we're changing that. We're not going to have a bride-in-law living in our country. You, as a man, you were supposed to take your wife to your people, your 3 children to your people. Secondly, you are complaining instead of registering and adding to the number of people that the Nigerian government said, we will bring you back home. You have not registered. Instead, you're setting up a camera and you still throwing mud at a country that is feeding you, your wife, and your children that don't belong here. Do you see there's something fundamentally not right up here? Fundamentally not right. And you are fighting us. And I am telling you right now, the law is about to kick in from what I understand. The government of KwaZulu-Natal had a meeting with March and Namabuto. And of course, you can tell this is to subdue the inevitable. And you already know what the inevitable is. South Africans are kicking out illegal foreigners out of their communities. Like, we do have that right. No government can tell us who to stay with and whom not to stay with. This is our communities. They belong to us. So they are chucking them out. And I don't think there'll be any law enforcement agencies that would like to be stationed in a community just to protect illegal foreigners in our communities. That's our tax money. And we will not be appreciative if our tax money is wasted like that. So they have no any other choice but to leave. Hijacked buildings, also, they are going to be going in there, removing people. So you have no choice but to go home. Yeah, the neighbor that you've built a great relationship with over the years, yeah, they no longer want you there. And those South Africans that are renting out your houses, you're renting out rooms, you're renting out your backyard dwelling, you are renting out spaza shop, venues, you are going to be arrested. It's clear. The president said it. The minister in the presidency said it. And the premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Mr. Ntuli, said it also. So if I were you before, I think in 19 days, you better start kicking those people out. Unless you want to be stubborn and then go to jail. You will have a criminal record. Is that what you want? I don't think so. So communities are allowed because it's their communities. These are the communities that they fought and died for. So 130 registered to go back home. That has to speak loud, and the volume should be very high that it's a lie, that there's xenophobic attacks. And I keep hearing that South Africans are killing Nigerians. And I asked this question before. Where is your source? How many Nigerians that have been killed? How many? And I can tell you're not going to respond to this question because there's none. You just want to tarnish the name of South Africa to the world. Listen, as we speak right now, after when the so-called xenophobic attacks happened, do you know that researchers are in South Africa? Just like when Afrikaners were saying that we were unaliving them, white G-side. Researchers came down to South Africa. They compiled reports and sent them back to the nations and said there's no such a thing going on in South Africa. Guess what they are going to be reporting about xenophobic attacks? And the deaths that you guys are talking about. Do you see, once again, you are the ones that are tarnishing your image. How will anybody trust you when you guys are such liars? You didn't think about that now, did you? You'll try to forcefully get Botswana into your mix, trying to recruit Botswana. Botswana came back and said, listen, this is crap. Untrue. And it's going to be very interesting to hear Ghana's case when they table it at the African Union in June. We've got some questions to ask ourselves. And I don't think this is sitting well with South Africans at all. And that also does put Ghanaians in the same line as all the other illegal foreigners that are in South Africa, especially illegal Ghanaians. Because their government decided, okay, we are going to force South Africa to accept people that are posing national security threats to us. You know, the ANC, thanks to Aaron Motsoaledi, he popped up and said this.
Waiting for Home Affairs, where will he run to? If he runs to another country, it's good riddance. And other countries don't accept radicals, rascals, sorry. We are the only country that accept rascals in this country. Yes, we do so. Even the United Nations is angry with us. So in Home Affairs, when we become strict, people call it xenophobia. Even the United Nations is angry that South Africa has got a tendency, because of something called democracy, to accept all the rascals of the world. When people do wrong things in their country, they run here. What do you say about that guy from Czechoslovakia called Rodovan Kresher? He ran all the way from, no, please, no, comrade. No, please, comrade. He ran all the way from Czechoslovakia to come and do nonsense here. Yes. Now United Nations is looking for one guy from Rwanda, and they insulted fast for his. He has been given refugee status in South Africa. That man is a killer. Yes, in Rwanda he threw a hand grenade into a bus full of women and children, and he ran to South Africa, and we welcome him and say refugee. And we must keep on keeping quiet, comrade, for the scare of the word xenophobia. Near man, comrade, near. That's how the Davians, near man. No, this must change, comrade. We can no longer allow our country to be a stomping ground for all the radicals and all the low-lifers of the world running here and saying they are using our democracy. No.
Oh, well, that is the former Minister of Home Affairs, Aaron Motsoaledi. So he knows what he's talking about. Not only do I believe a gentleman from Rwanda with a hand grenade and unalived a lot of people and ran away to South Africa and sought asylum. Al-Shabaab, Boko Haram, ISIS, you name them. I believe they are also here in South Africa. Terrorists are in South Africa and they are guised as refugees. Why? Because South Africa is free for, it's for everybody. It's for everybody. And some of the Nigerians that are protesting really, really hard, they know what they did back home. And to tell them to go back home is sending them to their death. South Africa is not a dumping ground. And this is exactly what we are doing to the dumping ground. We are cleaning it. Whether you like it or not, we are not going to stop. We are not changing our minds. You guys can try and manipulate our government all you want. We are the government, the people of this country. We have a constitution that protects our rights, and we are going to exercise those rights, and the government cannot do anything about it unless a crime is being committed. Yes, there I agree. Where a crime is being committed, those people that are committing those crimes ought to be arrested, prosecuted, and convicted. But we are doing this peacefully, and we are going to continue to do this peacefully. Hence, we're starting with our communities, and we are saying, get out. Listen, it's time to go home. It's time to go home. So it's time to go home. Whether you like it or not, we need to close the tab for what they came here for. What they came here for, let's close that tab. Squeeze it. Take away that thing. That's what they came here for. So if it doesn't exist anymore, there's no need for them to be here anymore. We are supporting businesses like Isinkwase too, and more other businesses that are owned by South Africans in our communities. We are going to be supporting them. So just know that what you came into South Africa for, it no longer exists. And South Africans are going to make sure of that. Even if we say, okay, open all your shops, open them. We are not coming. We'll just pass them like that. And now what we will do is identify similar shops but owned by South Africans. That is peaceful eviction. You've been given eviction notice, and the eviction is we are closing the tab for what you came here for. Am I being ambiguous? I think so. But anyways, why haven't y'all left if South Africa is so dangerous for Nigerians, Ghanaians, and all other Africans that are here in South Africa? And we are going to respond in the AU in June. We are. Other than that, guys, I shall see you a bit later. Enjoy your Saturday. I understand the Western Cape is going to be hit by its first cold front, and it's coming with heavy rains. We know that winter rains in the Western Cape, they are quite dangerous. Please take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, keep warm, don't burn in Baula, and if you do, please take care. Anyways, I will see you later. Goodbye.